What's going on, people? This is the first episode of this new show called Sports Plus Life. I am your host, Brandon Brevon Towns. And yes, this is a show where we talk about sports and more sports, sprinkle life in there, when we get a chance. And if it's something real deep, hey, we can, keep talking about it. But first, what I'd like to do first is introduce myself again. My name is Brandon Brevon Towns, and this will be on YouTube. So definitely go ahead and follow my YouTube page, Brevon Towns, at YouTube. And let me tell you a bit about myself. I have two wonderful children, a son and a daughter. You'll probably hear them in the background. So this is definitely reality podcast because their rooms are right next to where I'm at. So, but I don't want to go too much into all of that. Love them, love everybody. I also am a musician. I do music. I have a SoundCloud page, Brevon on SoundCloud, Brevon. And also, this being the first episode, I would like to wish everybody a wonderful, happy, safe Thanksgiving. I hope everybody eats up a lot of food. I hope everybody enjoys some football. If you knock a few too many back, don't hesitate to call that Uber or that Lyft, because don't ruin your holiday by just being irresponsible. Anyway, also, I don't know. I don't have any viewers yet, so this isn't gonna be edited. So you're gonna hear some choice language at times, especially if I'm feeling what I'm talking about. So again, if you have comments or if you want to agree with something or if you want to disagree with something, if you want to get props or even if you want to throw a little salt on the game, feel free to leave it in the comment box. All right, I'll be with you for about 45 minutes or until you simply can find another damn video to watch. Feel me? But the goal is to have some fun. So with that being said, let's start now. Okay, we're going into, I believe it's week 11 of the NFL season. No, I'm sorry, this is week 12 of the NFL season. And because we're in smack dab in the heart of football season, and this is America's game, despite how soft they try to make it, we still love football, and we especially love football on Thanksgiving. So let's check out the battles. Let's start here. Let's start in the NFC. And if you're a football fan and you did not watch the Monday night Arena League game, but it was dope. It was dope. If you guys didn't watch the Rams and the Chiefs, I'm sorry for you, because highlights just won't do it justice. Highlights will not do it justice because that game was off the hook. I'm talking about 54-51 Rams. One thing that could be problematic for the Rams is that it seems like lately every game they're in appears to be a shootout. But I definitely think that they will solve some of their defensive woes, particularly once Aqib Talib comes back. But, okay, so what do we have right now in the NFC? We have the Rams, number 1, at 10-1. We have the Saints at 9-1. We have the Bears. So the Rams and the Saints, there's your home field advantage, with the Saints holding tiebreakers should they both finish with the same record. Remember that. Even though I'm going to keep it real with you, the way the Saints are playing right now, I don't care where they play at. And plus, I don't think there will be really much home field advantage as far as won't be any problems with weather. The only advantage would be the difference in crowd noise between the dome that the Saints play in and the Coliseum where the Rams play in, because weather won't be an issue. Dome-controlled environment. Where the Rams play at in the Coliseum, it's Southern California. It's summertime. It's summer all year round pretty much. It's always good weather. So, all right, so those are your top two seeds. Then you have the Chicago Bears, 7-3. Definitely, hey, let me tell you something. When the season started, I didn't pick the Bears to be in first place with just 6 games left. Minnesota went out and spent a lot of money. Green Bay paid Aaron Rodgers a lot of money. So they're number 3. You have the Redskins at number 4. They're 6-4, and oh man, and I know this might not, I hope I'm wrong for Redskin fans' sake, because I don't, I don't have anything against Redskin fans, but this is how I feel like what has just happened to your season. Yeah. Yeah. I hope Alex Smith has a speedy recovery, as speedy can have. So those are your 4 division leaders: Rams, Saints, Bears, and Redskins. Okay. And then for the 2 wild card spots. The 2 wild card spots are currently held by the Carolina Panthers and the Minnesota Vikings. Now, interesting, because the Vikings tied with the Packers. I want to say it was week 2. That they tied with the Packers. So that could either, it's hard to tell yet whether that's going to work with them or against them. And now in the mix, in the hunt, you have Seattle 5-5, Dallas 5-5, Green Bay 4-5-1, and the Falcons 4-6, the Lions 4-6, the Eagles 4-6. Everybody else after that: Giants, Bucks, Cardinals, 49ers. Trash. Done. Season over. Look to next year. Tank, so you can get as high a draft pick as possible, if that's what you do. Okay, so how do I think this is going to play out in the NFC? I think obviously it's gonna be the Rams and Saints. Earlier in the season, well, actually the beginning of the season, I said Rams Super Bowl. And by the way, quick little side note, again about myself. I am a diehard Denver Broncos fan. I love my Broncos. I bleed orange and blue. In football. In basketball, I'm a diehard Los Angeles Lakers fan. This has been the dark ages. Not a LeBron James fan, but I'm trying since he's a Laker. Baseball, I'm pinstripes all day, New York Yankees. And I love boxing. So boxing will always have a segment on this podcast. Damn it. Anyway, all right, now back to the topic. It's hard. I said Rams earlier in the season, well, when the season started, for the Super Bowl, because you just look at what they did. They went out and they got Aqib Talib and Marcus Peters and Ndamukong Suh, and I'm like, wow. I mean, their defense is gearing up, because we already knew that their offense was legit. Jared Goff made Jeff Fisher look like a really bad coach, or you could say vice versa, because I thought Jared Goff was straight garbage. I thought he was Markelle Fultz #1 type, and hopefully Markelle Fultz can prove me wrong. But with Sean McVay, Sean McVay and Jared Goff are going to be the new Drew Brees and Sean Payton. They're going to be the new Drew Brees and Sean Payton. I think they're going to be, if the Rams are smart, they'll keep that combination for a long, long, long time. But with the Saints, the way it's so hard between the Saints and the Rams, man. It's so hard between the Saints and the Rams, because the game that they played, the Saints beat them, but they were up. And, one of my favorite shows is First Take. And Stephen A. Smith always says, well, I don't like the fact that the Saints gave up a 35-17 lead. Bro, the Saints gave up a 35-14 lead. They were up by 21 points, and the Rams walked them down. And then came the big play to Michael Thomas, which I thought was hilarious. I don't even think they shouldn't have been fined for that. Come on now. Ease up. Chill out. Everybody loved it. But what I'm trying to get at is, I like the defense that shows up that shows up late, not the defense that shows up early. And what I mean by that is, yeah, the Rams defense wasn't playing but so hot, but with the offense that they have, they don't always have to play lights out, particularly at the beginning of a game. So the Saints are up by 21 points, and then the Rams buckled down on defense. And then the Saints faded. You see what I'm saying? See, the Saints defense started early. You know, they were revved up, pumped up by that Mercedes-Benz Dome crowd, and they were just like, you know, all of them, you know, who that and whoop that trick nation and all of that other stuff. Even though whoop that, that's Tennessee, I know. But the Saints defense, you know, they're pumped up, they get up 21 points, and then peaks and valleys. What I mean by peaks and valleys, you always find a way back. And the Rams found a way back, just couldn't close the deal. And I truly believe with the Rams, when Aqib Talib gets back, and as a Bronco fan, it pisses me off that we actually let him go. It pisses me off to no end because he was still our best cornerback. Even though I love Chris Harris, Talib was still that guy. Talib, to me, and this is not me being, you know, biased. Talib has been the best cornerback the last 3 years. I mean, the previous 3 seasons. Of course, he's been injured for all but 1.5 games this year. And just look at the stats. Look at the stats. You know, numbers don't lie. But when he gets back, it puts everybody else at their natural position. Because while Marcus Peters is a good corner, he's a gambler. He's a risk taker, and that's fine. That's fine. But he will more often not get burned. Aqib Talib has the best. He reads a quarterback better than anybody in the league. Even still in his, I believe it's 11th or 12th season, he reads the quarterback better than anybody in football. So you can put him on your number 1 receiver or your number 1 tight end if you want. You know, have Peters as your number 2, and Sam Shields can go back to playing the slot. Or because Talib and Shields are faster than Marcus Peters, you can have Marcus Peters in the slot and have Sam Shields and Talib on the edges. Either way, and then on top of that, picking up Fowler from Jacksonville now gives you an edge rusher. Plus with that guy who on the Monday night game was balling, Samson Ekubon, I think that's his name. The guy that had 2 defensive touchdowns, an acrobatic pick 6. I mean, if you find a diamond in the rough with this guy to go along with, of course, Sue and Donald, they're beasts. Especially Aaron Donald is a man. And you have Fowler on the other side. Trust me when I tell you, the Rams defense is going to peak at the right time. The problem is New Orleans defense is peaking right now. And their whole team is peaking right now. And it looks like that train won't be stopped. Excuse me. The only team in the NFC that I see giving the Rams or the Saints problems that could potentially upset the apple cart of a colossal NFC championship game is the Chicago Bears. Because their defense is vicious. The monsters of the Midway are back, and Mitchell Trubisky he's impressed me this season. He has, and they have playmakers at receivers. Might not know their names a lot. People should know who Allen Robinson is, but Anthony Miller is good. Taylor Gabriel is good. Bellamy is good, and he's been there for a while. Trey Burton's a good tight end. Got him from the Eagles. So, like I said, it's going to come down between the Rams and the Saints, who I think will get in the wild card. I can see the Panthers getting in because the NFC East is that's going to come down to it. I will get into the Thanksgiving Day games in a bit, but I can see the Panthers getting in, and either the Seahawks or Vikings. I don't see it with Green Bay. And another thing to know about me, I hate the Cowboys. And I will not spend unnecessary time talking about them like every other show in America does. Gives them airtime they don't fucking deserve. And I said it. Anyway, but they have a big game tomorrow, so it is what it is. But yeah, I could see the Panthers and I guess the Vikings. And maybe, the only way I see Philadelphia making the playoffs is if they win the division. I don't see a wild card team coming out of the NFC East. And Carolina and Seattle have a huge game on Sunday. That's one of those huge playoff implication games. Now, NFC, taken care of. AFC, okay. At the beginning of the season, particularly after the first 4 or 5 weeks, everybody was saying Kansas City, New England, Kansas City, New England. I don't know about that. We have the division leaders, top 2 seeds, Kansas City, 9-2. Pittsburgh. Remember all the drama they were having about a month and a half ago? Le'Veon Bell and all of that, all that shit, Le'Veon Bell, will he come back? Won't he come back? John Connors had a hell of a season. So you got the Chiefs at 9-2, the Steelers at 7-2-1, because they had a first game of the season tie with the Cleveland Browns, who, well, judging by Cleveland Browns standards, this is a hell of a season. Don't think they should have fired Hugh Jackson for what? At this point, for what? Because you don't like your offensive coordinator, you getting a check. Sit down, both of y'all. Shut the fuck up. Hate each other after the season is over with. All right, so now we have the other 2 division leaders, the New England Patriots. Weird, right? To not have New England in the top 2. 7-3. And the Houston Texans. The Houston Texans are 7-3. People were calling for Bill O'Brien's job the first month of the season because they started out 0-3. Deshaun Watson looked like he had regressed, even though he was coming back off of a serious knee injury. They have won 7 straight games, and they're another team with a legit defense. A little banged up in the secondary, but their front 7 with Watt and Clowney and Merciless, they get after you. They've won 7 in a row, in control of the AFC South. And the 2 wildcard teams are the Chargers at 7-3. I think they'll be fine. I don't think they'll win the division now, but they will be fine. And then for the last wildcard spot, it's just a big-ass log jam. A big-ass log jam. You got right now, it's held by the Ravens, 5-5. Then you got the Bengals, 5-5. The Ravens just beat the Bengals. I think the Lamar Jackson era is damn near here for Baltimore. The Dolphins are 5-5. Yeah. Another dangerous team here, people. The Indianapolis Colts. They are red hot. Andrew Luck is back, and Andrew Luck is balling. They are 5-5. They started 1-4. They've won their last 4 games. Andrew Luck is the truth. They have a running back. They found a young running back. He's no Trent. He's not no Trent Richardson. He's not a bust like that. And respect for Trent Richardson, but it is what it is. But Marlon Mack can play. Of course, T.Y. Hilton does his thing. I'm from Richmond, Virginia, folks. They have a tight end from the VCU Rams, Mo Alley Cox. Shout out to Big Mo Ram Nation. But point I'm trying to make is Andrew Luck is hot. They're dangerous. They are a dangerous team. They're 5-5, and the Tennessee Titans, who just got embarrassed by the Colts this past Sunday, are 5-5. So all of that, you have 5 teams tied for the last wild card spot. And then amazingly, my Denver Broncos are 4-6, with just a game out. As sorry as Case Keenum has played to me. I mean, I when we beat the Chargers, first I was surprised we beat the Chargers. Then I was like, really? We're only a game out? Because I as a Bronco fan, man, I haven't been happy these last 2.5 years. For one, John Elway keeps picking the wrong quarterback. Look, Case Keenum had a magical year last year, but he is not the guy. He is not the guy. He is not a franchise quarterback. He is a career backup. Him and Ryan Fitzpatrick. He's a little bit better than Ryan Fitzpatrick because he actually got a team in the playoffs and won on a miraculous miracle. Case Keenum ain't that dude. He drafted Paxton Lynch. Gross. The best Brock Osweiler's ever played has been in a Bronco uniform, and the best he played was the year we won the Super Bowl, 2015. But then, that go. So I guess, not me being biased, just because my Broncos are just 1 game out, they're still in it. All of the other teams, Browns, Bills, Jacksonville, Jets, Raiders, especially the Raiders, oh my God, done. Jacksonville, man. Oh, my goodness. To me, that is the biggest disappointment in the NFL this year. The Jacksonville Jaguars. How the hell did you blow that game to Pittsburgh? I mean, outplayed them. It's like a fighter fighting a 12-round fight, and you beat them for 11 and a half rounds, and then all of a sudden they hit you with a hook in the halfway through the 12th round, and you're stumbling around, and then you finally fall and don't get up with 5 seconds left, and you lose. That was Jacksonville versus Pittsburgh. So how I see the AFC playing out, you can never count out New England, we know. But if New England doesn't finish in the top 2, I could see them possibly going home. Well, okay. Seeding is going to matter because I don't give a damn what nobody says. The Pittsburgh Steelers are Tom Brady's bitch. And it has been for the last 17 years. So if the Chiefs, I see the Chiefs finishing number 1. Plus, they have the head-to-head against the Steelers. The Steelers right now, if they finish number 2 and they have to see New England, they better pray that whoever finishes 6 knocks the Patriots off. Because, I mean, Pittsburgh just ain't beating New England. I don't know what it is. They're not beating them. I mean, so the AFC could come down to the Patriots and the Chiefs, but I'm not counting out the Houston Texans, man. And I'm not counting out the Chargers either. I'm really not. I'm not counting because those are 2 teams with legit defenses and good and solid quarterback play. Hell, Rivers was in the MVP discussion. We probably lost that by losing to my Broncos, but, you know, it is what it is. And I hope you guys are enjoying this. I hope I'm saying some interesting things, particularly for you Major League sports heads. You know, this is really fun. My first time doing this. I've had friends that have tried to encourage me to do live internet talk show or podcast for years because, I mean, outside of music, outside of music, with me being a musician, I love sports. Sports has been my passion since I was a little kid. So let's get on the next topic now. The next topic would be, we'll do a little bit of NBA talk. Just a little bit. Because, I'm going to be honest with you, and this is how I feel. It's November, man. Who the hell cares about the NBA right now? You know, holler at me when you know, the NBA, I'll pay more attention after the Super Bowl. I mean, because, you know, LeBron is a Laker, so that's gotten most of the attention. Now there's the drama in Golden State, you know, with Kevin Durant and Draymond Green. Let me basically sum, and I will be consistent on this. Let me sum up the NBA season for you right now. I don't care what happens. I don't give a damn who has what record or whatever. If the Golden State Warriors are healthy, they're winning it. Period. One team that I can see, if they get their act together, that I can see that could give them a run for their money out the East, and that's the Boston Celtics. Because they're loaded. The Raptors are cool. Love the fact that the 76ers just got Jimmy Butler. He's actually one of my favorite players. You know, I'm a Kobe man, you know, and Magic before that when I was a small kid. But I like, since Kobe's left, I have to say my favorite players have been, I can honestly say, Russell Westbrook and Jimmy Butler. Because they're dogs, man. They get out there. They're players that could play back in the 90s, you know, when I grew up, the 90s and the early 2000s, when I grew up, you know, watching the man's game of basketball, not this soft laden pillow bullshit that they have just because they want to see teams score 135 points. You know, not this league that will eject you and suspend you if you push somebody. Come on, man. Come on. You know, but that's really all as far as I go with the NBA, because right now it's November, man. The Warriors are beefing. Who cares that Portland is the number 1 seed in the West right now? Who cares? You know, you got Carmelo Anthony. That didn't work in Houston. I mean, as far as Melo goes, look, it's starting to be proven now, man, that when Melo leaves your team, you get better. It sucks to say, but, you know, right now, it's a lot of truth behind that. You know, I don't know what it is. I mean, I watch First Take every day. I hear Max Kellerman say the game is past Melo, but Melo hasn't evolved with the game. That might be true, but I don't know. I don't think Melo should come to the Lakers. I don't think maybe the Sixers just to have some depth behind Jimmy Butler, but maybe Melo should go back to Denver or hang it up. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, so NBA November, who cares? You know, on to the Thanksgiving Day games for today. All right. Let's see what we got here. First, we got the Detroit Lions having their annual Thanksgiving Day game, and they're annually an underdog, playing the Chicago Bears. Like I said earlier, man, monsters of the Midway are back, and you're going to see some of those receivers get off today on being in that dome, being on that turf. I believe Anthony Miller is going to have a big game. I could see Robinson having a big game. At least I hope so, because I picked some of them on FanDuel. Shit, I'm trying to win some money. Like everybody else. It's a division game, so I don't see it being a blowout, but I do see I see the Bears winning. I see Tariq Cohen making a couple of plays. That defense, man, they're going to get after Matthew Stafford. And Detroit has some players that I genuinely like. I like this running back, Kerryon Johnson. He's nice. I like Kerryon Johnson. I like Galladay. I don't know if Galladay is good enough yet to let Golden Tate go, but I like Kenny Galladay. He can play. You know, he can play. We talk about one of the big bugaboos that's been with the Lions for years and years and years and years is the fact that they haven't had a consistent running game since Barry Sanders. That's 20 years ago. You know, you brought in this guy, I think around 2011, Javid Best. You thought he was going to be the answer. He's all right. I mean, well, I guess he kept getting concussions or something like that. You brought in Reggie Bush for a couple of years. He ran for 1,000 yards. I mean, that's it. Over the last few years that I can remember, over the last about decade that I can remember, probably longer than that, I can only remember the Detroit Lions having a running back run for 1,000 yards twice. So you can't really blame Matthew Stafford because what help are you giving him? You ain't giving him no help. You're not giving him no help. And this guy, Kerryon Johnson, he has 641 rushing yards. So he's on pace to rush around for that 1,000-yard mark. He's averaging 5.4 yards a carry. You know, if he stays healthy, kid might have a future in Detroit. You know, kid might have a future. And I like Galladay. Big, strong receiver. Big, strong receiver. So, but bottom line is, I picked Bears. I picked the Bears to win that. Second game. The game which I'm sure is going to get the most attention because of who's playing. NFC East division lead on the line, the Redskins and the Cowboys. Now, I will say this. After the Amari Cooper trade and Dallas wet the bed Monday and that Monday night game against the Titans, I looked at the Cowboys schedule and said, good night. All right, been wrong so far. You know, they beat the Eagles in Philly. They beat the Falcons last week in Atlanta. And this is why this is going to be funny to me because the Cowboys should win the game. Because now you're playing against Colt McCoy. They should win. Redskins don't really have any weapons outside of Adrian Peterson and Jordan Reed, to tell you the truth. And big ups to AP, because AP is balling. AP is having a bitch I'm not old season. He is. But the Cowboys should win. The problem is the Redskins are the more physical team. They rough you up. The Redskins, they come to beat you up. They're kind of like bullies almost when they're out there with that defense. They're a very physical football team, and I like that shit. I do. If they, I don't see much difference in the way the offense is going to be run now with Colt McCoy as the quarterback than Alex Smith. Colt McCoy is a mobile quarterback. And they don't go down the field like that anyway. And who are you throwing? I mean, the guy Maurice Harris is pretty good. But Doxson is just Jekyll and Hyde. You know, Doxson has so much talent, and you just don't see it enough. So like I said, the Cowboys should win this game and be in first place for a week before the Saints come to Dallas and kick the shit out of them. Give Ezekiel Elliott the ball. It's that simple. It's going to be a low-scoring, ugly, maybe first team that scores 20 probably wins the game. I'd be shocked to see anything more than that. Like I said, I can't definitively make a pick. All I'm going to say is the Cowboys should win. But when they let you down most is particularly when they're at home. And I love it. Y'all think Stephen A. Smith hate the Cowboys. I hate Stephen A. Smith. Talk about him too much for me. I be wondering, dude, you sold your soul to Jerry Jones? Y'all talk about them way too much. Way more than they deserve to be talked about. Especially on a set that has the Steelers, a Steelers fan and two Giant fans. Now, I'm not throwing salt on First Take. That is my favorite show. Love Undisputed too. But Skip sometimes it's just be over the top with that Cowboys nonsense. It's just, So, like I said, Dallas should win. And then the Thanksgiving Day shootout, which is going to be between the Saints and the Falcons. That's going to be a good game. I know it's in New Orleans, and New Orleans is like killing everybody right now, but that's going to be a good game because Atlanta is fighting for their life. It looked like Steve Sarkisian and Matt Ryan had figured it out as far as offense goes, but then, you go to Cleveland and you lay an egg, you stink up the joint, and then you're at home against Dallas and you only scored 19 points, man. You only scored 19 points. I know Dallas's defense is much improved. I ain't gonna front. But with that offense that you guys have, those receivers and Tevin Coleman and Ito Smith and Hooper, Julio, Ridley, Sanu, come on, man. 19 points and your damn season is on the line? Boy, I was disappointed with that. New Orleans is going to win because, they are battling with the Rams for home field. They are battling with the Rams and they know they have the one up. And Drew Brees is going to be the MVP. I believe that. A lot of people are saying Patrick Mahomes. A lot of people are saying Patrick Mahomes for the MVP. Possibly Todd Gurley, maybe even Jared Goff. I'm going to tell you why Drew Brees is going to be the MVP. Because they're going to look at this as like a lifetime achievement award. Drew Brees has been in the league since 2001, and he's never won the MVP. Has a Super Bowl ring. He's never been the MVP. He is going to have all of the passing records by the time he leaves. And everybody else who is in that company that he's passed, as far as Peyton Manning with the touchdowns, Brett Favre, Dan Marino, all of those guys are former MVPs. We all know he's a future Hall of Famer. But this is going to be a lifetime achievement award, and honestly, he deserves it because right now, I think the Saints. This, like I said, can't choose between the Saints and the Rams. Rams is like 1 and 1A, but they'll beat the Falcons. They will beat the Falcons. So that's the Thanksgiving Day games, folks. So again, I hope everybody is enjoying this. I hope you guys get a little education because. Now I'm about to talk about something where I'm going to have to pay a little money. Yes, a little money to see. But I love it. I can't help it. I love it. That is boxing. Now, yesterday, 2 days ago, it was announced that Manny Pacquiao and Adrian Broner will fight June 19th in Vegas. It's going to be a pay-per-view fight. Just wanted to throw that out there because that's the latest news with boxing. But before that, Next Saturday is something that I haven't seen, something that has a lot of anticipation, that has the most anticipation, a heavyweight championship fight between two undefeated fighters. You have the Bronze Bomber, my boy, Deontay Wilder, Bomb Squad, against Tyson Fury, the lineal champion. Remember, he beat Vladimir Klitschko, I want to say it was 3 years ago, and took all of Klitschko's belts and then just self-destructed personally. And he has since gotten his life back together. If you listen to him talk, it is a great, great, great story. And he's trying to complete the redemption by coming back and winning one of the belts back. Okay, so of course the heavyweight division, the four major governing belts are held by Deontay Wilder's the WBC. Anthony Joshua, who should be ashamed of himself and his team for this fight not being between him and Deontay Wilder rather than Tyson Fury. But he has the other three belts, the WBA, the IBF, and the WBO belt. So that's December 1st at the Staples Center. And I can't wait because that fight is going to be something. I mean, that's going to be a brawl. Now, Tyson Fury, to be 6'7" and damn near 300 pounds, he ain't a knockout puncher. He's very light on his feet. He's a boxer. Deontay Wilder comes to take your ass out of there. And I'm going to say right now, well, maybe I'll save that for next Saturday when I have the another episode, the day of the fight. But that is going to be a fight. This is the biggest heavyweight championship fight for one to be on pay-per-view since Mike Tyson versus Lennox Lewis. And I don't think it's going to disappoint. I don't think it's going to disappoint at all. So that is in December. That is December 1st. And then, of course, we go into the calendar year 2019. And, of course, January 19th, 2 weeks before the Super Bowl, we're going to have Manny Pacquiao and Adrian Broner. And, we're going to have Manny Pacquiao and Adrian Broner. Now, if you keep up with boxing and you've kept up with Adrian Broner has really wet the bed as far as his talent is concerned. I think AB is a great talent. He has very good skills. Adrian Broner's problem is he just lets his opponents outwork him. You know, he's a very accurate puncher, lands beautiful shots. He lands shots that I'm gonna leave you saying ooh and ah. But he just gets outworked by his opponents. That just is what it is. He gets outworked all the time. And his three losses that I can remember, Marcos Maidana, Sean Porter, and Mikey Garcia all just outworked him. He's better fighter than Marcos Maidana. Fighting Sean Porter is like fighting a football player. He's going to rough you up just as much as he's going to throw punches. You know, Broner should have won that fight. He came out and dropped Sean Porter in the 12th round, just like that. But didn't follow up. That's the story of his career. He got so focused in wanting to be a star. He was loving the limelight so much that he is almost like he didn't take what it took to get him to that level seriously. He wanted to be AB, about billions, and, you know, all of that other good stuff. I mean, like I said, you can fight, man. But you have to fight better. I mean, period. You have to fight better. And both of those fights are going to be pay-per-view. And I'm going to get both of them. Show you right. So, December 1st, I can't wait. And also Tyson Fury, going back to the Fury and Deontay Wilder fight, has added Freddie Roach to his corner. Okay. He's added Freddie Roach to his corner. And which also he's Freddie Roach has been brought back into Manny Pacquiao's corner to be a special consultant. And because the one thing I forgot to say, the main reason for this fight for Pacquiao is this is supposed to be a tune-up for a rematch with Floyd Mayweather in May. Honestly, majority of the boxing public really don't care now. I mean, if I'm that much of a boxing fan where I'll watch it. I'll even pay for it. But I mean, you guys are gonna be, both of you guys are in your 40s. Maybe you have a great fight like the rematch between Sugar Ray Leonard and Tommy Hearns when they were both in their 30s, early 30s. But they were old enough, they were slow enough to where, they could do some damage, and it was a very entertaining fight. Maybe that happens, but I mean, I know Pacquiao wants the fight, especially since he says his shoulder was hurt in the first fight. But I mean, that's the only thing. The first fight was so god awful. The first fight was so terrible, so trash that you're like, do I really want to see this again? The only way I think that a rematch would have been in demand is if, with the type of fight that it was, is if Pacquiao had won. And honestly, I really don't see what Floyd did to win the fight. He ran the whole fight. But the fact that it was a garbage fight and Floyd won really didn't put it in much perspective for people to want to see it again. And if it was a garbage fight and Floyd lost, then people would probably want to see it again. So, but boxing, man, I love me some boxing. So, that, my people who choose to listen, is going to wrap it up. We're going to be wrapping up episode 1, but just want to talk about life a little bit because, like I said, this is sports plus life, and there will be times where we'll discuss things on the political side, the musical side, the relationship side, it's whatever. Let me just put it this way. I'm me, and I know I'm probably like everybody else. I done been through some shit. And I'm like, hopefully everybody else is doing my best every day to try to be a better person. To be a better person, not just for me, but for everybody who loves me, everybody who cares about me. I can grow and develop to be frustrated and tired of some things too. There's nothing more. Just take, if anything, if you're still listening, if you haven't found a better video yet, take this into consideration. Nothing can be more hurtful or frustrating to a person, man, woman, it doesn't matter, than to be trying your best at something, anything, but in effect be told that you're not doing this, or it's not good enough. That can be infuriating. When you're giving it your all, you're 110%. You're not perfect, but you're just trying to take things one day at a time, and then you just find out it's not good enough. That hurts. That can frustrate somebody. And I will have several more episodes where I will go into more detail about life mixing up with life, because one thing that I did not get into today is all of those teams who are out of the playoff mix with football. And I can sit here and name a few of these teams, and I'm going to go there and ask and look at your quarterback situation. Why in the hell is Colin Kaepernick not in the league? That's a topic for another day. But I enjoyed having you guys listen. Again, if you want to comment, if you agree with something, if you disagree with something, if you want to show love, if you want to throw salt, leave your comments. Again, follow me at Brevon or at YouTube. And like I said, I'm a musician. You can follow me at Brevon on SoundCloud. I will see you guys later. Till the next time. Peace. Be safe. Love you much. Out.